In accordance with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, this video is not intended for children under the age of 13. I worry that I might be putting too much pressure on Titan here to be perfect, but I am going to continue to try and perfect them by treating their bad healer tendencies, because I like that plague doctors can kind of heal people. That's important to me. How about Blom? Blom, do you have anything that's... Yeah, we got Corvid's Curiosity. I also have a... I believe it was George had... Oh, no, it was Hedia. Yeah, Hedia, I'm afraid I'm going to need to take these trinkets away from you, because I want to treat that Corvid's Appetite of yours. So instead we're going to be bringing Ronic Hyrule on. Hedia, please report to the doctor's office. And by the doctor, I mean this doctor. Get Corvid's Appetite taken care of, because that's an annoying skill. Okay, that means that our team consisting of Cthulhu-chan, Icegral, Hilversum, and... Where did you go? Ronic Hyrule? Is not perfectly perfect, because Ronic Hyrule needs a little bit more training. So let's increase Judgment, let's increase Dazzling Light, Divine Grace, Divine Comfort, and increase your weapon and armor here. The Hand of Light and the Blessed Bulwark. Alright, Ronic Hyrule, jump in. I'm the Comic Foil. This is Dark... This is Darkest Dungeon. And we're going to try and defeat the Hag Witch. Not just any hag. The Hag Witch, because for some reason, as redundant as that sounds, that's the toughest version of the witch in this game. That was a weird amount of food to bring. Do any of you guys have the curse yet? No, no, no. Gonna bring 3 bloods. We have so much blood, it'll be fine. Bring some shovels. Bring some band-aids. Bring some anti-venoms. Definitely bring some torches. And... yeah, I definitely want to keep the light up because of a certain ability.
As time wore on, her wild policy of self-experimentation grew intolerable. She quaffed all manner of strange fungi, herbs, and concoctions, intent on gaining some insight into the horror we both knew to be growing beneath us. The change in her was appalling, and no longer able to stomach it, I sent her to live in the Weald, where her wildness would be welcomed.
So that's 2 things. Weald, I thought it was pronounced weld, and fungi. I've never heard it said fungi before.
There is method in the wild corruption here. It bears a form both wretched and malevolent.
Yeah, so I think the hag is going to be over here. I'd be pretty surprised to be corrected about that. Oh, I thought maybe I could burn that away. No, alright, we'll play with it. Get some treasure. Not very good treasure, but it was treasure. Yeah, so we have the Angel's Hairpin, and because of that, I really want to keep the torch above a certain amount here. Let's try and keep our wits about us, and not think that this is easier just because it's no longer a courtyard mission. This is still a veteran-level mission. And these enemies will not hesitate to absolutely rip us apart, given the chance. Yeah, these, harrying gnashers, as they're called, I would just call them dogs. But, they're pretty dodgy, too. Which I've gotten used to dodgy things. Grumble, grumble. Unfortunately for you, it is a dog-eat-dog world. And also... take this. Okay. So you'll bleed out from that.
A blazing star is born.
I guess it's... I'm just happy to see, like, not a million bloodsucker enemies in front of me. This is so much nicer in comparison.
Continue the onslaught.
And that just leaves you, who's gonna be in stealth for another round. Oh! That's a good way to hit somebody even though they're in stealth. I'm thinking maybe I should have brought some medicinal herbs as well. Might have been a good idea.
As the fiend falls,
but we seem to be okay.
blossoms.
It would also be better for investigating some of these things. Alright, so I'm really appreciating these scouting chances. They'll give me, hopefully, a decent idea of where the enemies I'm fighting are. Right next to the egg, too. I was just talking about how glad I was to not be around you guys. We'll start with you. I'd prefer if you guys didn't just start the Crimson Curse on all of these guys, because I like that these guys don't have the curse. I can actually sort of predict what they're going to do.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Let's do a Hound's Harry. I know I should be focusing down certain targets, but the chance to put bleed on all of them was just too enticing. Yeah, even with that, like, that's not so bad. Healing back 4 points isn't so bad. You, on the other hand, you're a problem, Mr. Chevalier. I've been thinking a lot about witches, actually. Not just because I kind of want to do a top 10 witches on Oscar's channel sometime, but, also because Allie is, like, really into, like, witch stuff. She's sort of... Now, some people take this the wrong way when I say that my wife is a witch. She doesn't literally fly around on a broom and do magic and stuff like that. Also, I'm not calling her a bad person. But she is really interested in witch lore and magic and paganism. She doesn't call herself a pagan, but she likes to study paganism, and also, like, Norse mythology and Celtic mythology and a lot of different, like, histories that have magic in their mythology, which I think is really interesting. I don't see who could possibly object to that. She does stuff like she reads tarot cards and stuff like that, and she cares about astrology. She likes to know what people's astrological signs are, but it's not something that she, like, takes as absolute law, that your astrological signs are going to be the way they are, though she still gains a lot of insight from them. I think that kind of fortune-telling and stuff like that, it's not that it's real, it is as... Stuff like that is as real as the realness you decide to put into it, but also things like that, like doing tarot cards and stuff like that, it's not great for telling the future, but it's great for putting a mirror up to yourself and trying to think, thinking about how that makes you feel, and that can tell you a lot about your current state and where you are, if that makes any sort of sense. But yeah, she does a lot of, like, she reads a lot of books about the occult. She's kind of interested in crystals and stuff like that. People hear that she likes crystals and think that that means that she's an anti-vaxxer. That's not true. You jerk. Absolutely not. No, I'm using a dog treat on that. We do not have time for you, buddy. Yeah, we're just gonna try and bleed you up really fast here. For some reason that wasn't working, but... Yeah, your bleed resistance isn't even that good. What the heck, man? This would be great if we got a stun. Can we get a stun? Yes, thank you. how quick are you? You have a speed of 7, whereas I have speeds of 8, 6, 7, and 4. So I should get a few turns in before you summon more heads. I feel really good if I could kill him before he summoned his heads, but no, that's what wasn't meant to be. Okay, and he did get a vessel in there, unfortunately. I'm just gonna bum rush him down, which actually is the same thing that I'm going to do. Okay, I thought you were gonna do a heal. That's the same way I plan on handling the hag, is just to rush damaging the hag as fast as possible. I find that that is often the best solution to that sort of thing. Okay. I mean, all I have to do is wait for you to bleed out, but I don't want these other guys to get turns too, so I'm trying to finish you off myself. Nope, okay. Man, and I could have taken the chance for Ronick to heal people. But that's okay, because I dodged that attack. I wonder what happens to the heads after you kill the Collector. Do you think they just, like... Do you think they just de-animate? They just become lifeless skulls again? Maybe. I would really like to get a successful scouting chance to be able to see for sure that this is where the hag is back here. But yeah, we watched an interesting documentary on just, like, the history of witchcraft, or more like the history of the world's perception of witchcraft, and what it is and what it's not, and, you know, how afraid people are of it. And it's interesting. I like to say, for the sake of, like, witches appearing in fiction, there are 4 kinds. There are, like... Oh, man, I forget what my kinds are. I'm not going to be able to do a good job explaining this, especially not while I'm fighting slime. Slime is too dangerous. No, I should really just focus on killing these slimes. No, because you got your, like, stereotypical witches, or, like, your Halloween-y kind of witches and stuff like that, or, like, the Wicked Witch of the West, or, like, you know, wears a pointy hat, probably has a broom, probably has a black cat, probably has a cauldron that they throw things into. So you have those kinds of witches. Then you have, like, fantasy witches, which I know the other kind of witch I said sounds like it's a kind of fantasy witch, but this is, like, more of a high fantasy kind of witch, where how they got to be a witch doesn't really, like there's no explanation of how they got to be. This is like the Chaos Witch of Quelaag, or whatever it's called, from Dark Souls, or, like, you know, less fairy tale, more, like, straight up Lord of the Rings kind of stuff. Like Witch Kings and stuff like that. I'd love to go into this in more detail at some point. Right now I'm just summarizing. So you got your, like, stereotypical witches, or your Halloween witches, your spooky witches. You got your,
This expedition at least promises success.
like, high fantasy witches, which are usually a lot more powerful, a lot scarier, because, you know, they have to go toe-to-toe with wizards and stuff like that, and be quest hooks. Okay, let's see if there's a hag here. Then you got your, like, satanic witches, which is the kind of, like, the kind of things, you know, people who think that witches are those who have a pact with Satan. This is, you know, what some interpretations of the Bible would have you believe. I know there's a passage in, I think it's Leviticus, that says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch." There's some stuff in it. Though really the idea that witches were so dangerous and were those who followed Satan and stuff like that actually was a notion that got a lot more prevalent around, like, the 13th century and stuff like that. These are the kinds of things that, like... And there are some things in mythology that really are these kinds of witches. Like, like the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix really dives into that kind of like the possibly satanic elements of witches, where all the witches are technically Satanists. The show never really lets you get away from that fact and kind of has a good laugh about it. And finally, there's like realistic freaking witches, which I can't think of any that I've seen in video games, and very few that I've seen on TV or in movies. But that's just like an actual person who has an interest in witchcraft, the pseudoscience magic that is things like crystals and essential oils and stuff like that. You know, somebody who just identifies themselves as a witch. I mean, that's a lot of gold to just drop on the ground like that, so... And it gets really interesting when you try to relate the four together, or try to categorize, or people see one and think it's the other. A lot of interesting discussion happens around that area.
Huddled together, furtive and vulnerable, rats in a maze.
Okay, so this can prevent nighttime ambushes. So does Bandit Sense. They do about the same thing. This prevents nighttime ambushes and can also be used to heal, but everybody's at full health anyway. Do any of them cost less than the others? No, they all cost 4, so let's just do Hound's Watch, because I like that it has a picture of a dog on it. And besides that, let's just do some group buffs. So we are going to bless... yeah, we're going to bless Cthulhu-chan. We're going to... I don't want to revel. Reject the gods. You lower stress, but it stresses other people out. Yeah, I don't really have my, like, buff sorts of things on. Okay, how about I do the Unparalleled Finesse? And that leaves me with only 1 point left, so I'll just let that one fizzle.
As the light gains purchase,
all right, let's go fight
the...
So I'd say the hag is kind of like everything but the last one. They don't make her out to be specifically satanic, so I guess she's more of a high fantasy witch kind of thing, but with a lot of things that are more like classical pop culture witches. That's what I like to call the first one, like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Twisted and maniacal, a slathering testament to the powers of corruption.
Okay, so we are going to start with a duelist advance. I don't know who she's going to take to put in the pot first. So I'm just gonna try and get you all bloodied up here. Okay, she's taking Ronick. It's not what I would have preferred, but that will be okay. Get Cthulhu-chan back in the front, and then I can use Iron Swan and stuff. Yeah, maybe Duelist Advance wasn't the best, because it would have been better if I could have done Iron Swan right away. Now I had to debuff you to move you there. It's only 10%, but still. I might save some time if I apply a mark. That might be a faster way to hurt her. But no, this is going pretty quick already. Yeah, even for a veteran-level boss, you don't have a lot of HP. Okay. No, I don't want to taste the stew. Stop cooking my Vestals. Oh, you're tasting the stew. Don't eat my Vestals. Oh man, Ronick's in there with some coriander. And some... and a bay leaf to impress those snobby judges. It's okay, though. We're almost done here. The only thing I'm worried about is Ronick falling out of the pot and, like, getting hit before I can heal them. But I think I got this. Good.
Her corpse to rot, consumed by the spores she spawned.
Very nice.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
And I'll even take that blueprint, even though I don't know if I really have a use for it. So that is the end of this mission. We completed it, but we have a lot of time left, and except for Ronick, we're in pretty good shape. So I think I'm gonna try and collect what treasures I can here. Get rid of some of these pieces of 8 that I've gathered. What do we got here? Lock of Patience, which it gives extra virtue chance. Don't want to fight any more bloodsuckers. I'm having quite enough of that in the other levels, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll gather back over here. So yeah, ding dong, the witch is dead. There's, I can't remember all the names, but historically, the one guy who kind of started the witch hunts in Europe, also happened to be a really huge misogynist. So his hatred of women, and you know, witches are almost unanimously women, sometimes. But it grew a lot from basically him being afraid of women that could, like, do anything without a man's help. Okay, we'll fight this. We'll fight these guys. So, how easy are you guys to bleed? You have really good bleed resist, actually. But I'll hit you anyway. It's a very nice crit.
A death by inches.
Cool. Man, that was great. Let's see if we can do that again. Especially if this gargoyle decides to attack Ice Scrawl and then get slashed for it. I would prefer you didn't stun Ronick because I want Ronick to be using some heals to heal Ronick. But okay.
Masterfully executed.
Yeah, it's also interesting that, like, so Hellions have things to hit the back 2 rows, but not a lot of things to hit the 3rd rank if they're in the 1st rank. It's kind of an interesting catch-22 there. No, I'll go for just the full self-heal. I was thinking of trying to do some damage at the same time with Judgment, but nah, that's okay. We don't need to judge here. Alright. Almost dead. So anyway, I've learned... I think it's really cool that she studies that stuff, because I've learned a lot about crystals and about astrology and a lot of stuff that I just find really interesting. You know, how much stock you put into it is up to you. I don't put, like, all the stock into it. I'm never going to put all of my eggs into one ideological basket. But I learned that, so not only is your, like, main astrological sign, your sun sign, important, that's where the sun was in the sky when you were born, but also your moon sign is supposed to say a lot about you, and then also your ascending sign, like what sign was on the horizon when you were born. And there's a bunch of other ones too, you know, where all the different planets were, like what sign your Venus is in, as in where Venus was when you were born, can say a lot about how you look at love, and where Mars was can say a lot about your temperament. And it's interesting to think about why that, because, I mean, Mars is the Roman god of war. His equivalent in Greek mythology would be Ares, the Greek god of war, and Venus is Aphrodite, goddess of love, which is more like goddess of sex. Okay. Yeah, I know you all took a hit for that one. It'll be okay. Just checking out all this stuff. Gathering up as much treasure and as many little things as I can. Okay. How about we go over here first, because I want to see what these 3 curios are. But the main 3, I guess, are Sun, Moon, and Ascending. So my Sun, my main sign, I was born July 12th, so Cancer. None of those were very good curios, were they? And Cancer is a water sign. Of the 12 signs, there's 4 elements, so there's 3 for each element. Cancers can be very, like, defensive. It would make sense that I'm more of an introvert. I'm very creative, and I want people to know it, but also, like, I don't really go out and, you know, advertise myself or anything too much. I kind of really want to be noticed, but I don't want to do anything to make myself noticed, and that, like, combines a lot with my moon sign, which is also a water sign, is Pisces, which I guess are supposed to be kind of, you know, they're the fish. They're wishy-washy. I don't remember as much about Pisces. Like, even though I can't remember how Pisces is supposed to work, I just kind of, like, feel it a lot. They're gentle, they're, you know, whatever. And then, my ascending sign is Virgo, which is Allie's sun sign. And being a Virgo means that you're just a big old mess. Don't listen to me about astrology. If you're interested in astrology, listen to somebody who really understands it a lot more. But yeah, so that makes me water, water, earth. And I forget what Oscar's other signs are, but Oscar's main sign is Aries, so he's a fire sign. And maybe that's why we, like, complement each other well, because we're water and fire. My friend Nick is an Aquarius, which is an earth sign. You would think that's a water sign, but it's an earth sign because life isn't fair. The Greek mythology of what Aquarius is much more water, you know, it's the water bearer, but for the sake of this model of astrology, Aquarius is an earth sign. It's nurturing, it's the land. It's kind of like... Aquarius is kind of like a fertile soil, if you will, while, like, Virgo is like rocks tumbling down a mountainside. And I cannot remember what the other earth sign is.
The birthplace of dread.
I know Sagittarius is a fire sign. So, like, Pad is not only Sun in Sagittarius, but also Moon in Sagittarius. That's a lot of Sagittarius. Makes him a very fiercely opinionated person. I think it's kind of fun that Leo is like also Gryffindor house. Like everything you say about Gryffindors, you can also say about Leos. I think Leo is the other fire sign, I think. If I'm remembering correctly. I can't remember what the air signs are. I think Taurus is Earth. Yeah, Taurus is the other Earth sign. So Taurus is like a mountain. Or like an unstoppable boulder.
Death waits.
See, the thing is, I can't really remember so much what Virgo is or what it's supposed to mean. I just know some of my friends who are Virgos and what I think about them. You know? And it just kind of all makes sense that way. Oh, no. Please don't kill Hilversum while I was talking about... Ah! Frick. Hilversum's dead, and the last thing he heard was me rambling about astrology that I don't even know about? It's terrible. That is terrible and unfair. And that missing is unfair. Oh, man. Hilversum, you did a really great job against the hag. I was planning on using you against the flesh boss as well. And maybe even taking you into the darkest dungeon. Crap. I guess one good thing is that I have Blom Lucas now. I have another high-level Houndmaster. But that doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Oh, you jerk. Just get hit and die. Okay, and now I have to make room for his stuff. Okay, well these are both very important trinkets. I can't leave either of them behind. I'm going to get rid of the commander's orders. It's not like I'm going to use it. Get rid of the Onyx for the Book of Sanity. And I don't need this blood. I do want the busts. Do I want the busts more than I want these 4 crests? Yes. Yeah. Leave with our tail between our legs. I lose a lot of Houndmasters, too. That's another class that just I keep getting killed. Usually they get killed. Like, usually I at least get a lot of good use out of them. But also they die. Yeah, bad humors. Me too. Ugh, I blinded him with astrology. And now he's dead. Sorry, Hilver. I promise I'm paying attention. It's not like I was making bad moves while I was distracted. I really hope when people die like that, they don't feel like I just wasn't paying enough attention to them. That, like, you weren't important to me, because that's not the case. That sucks, and I really hate that that happened just now. Well, there's another highwayman here. I might take him just to keep rounding out the group. Yeah, so I originally had you down for a man-at-arms, but instead I'm going to make you a highwayman, Frostwolf. Commander Frostwolf, reporting for duty.
Elusive, evasive, persistent. Righteous traits for a rogue.
Got some neat abilities here, though. Enlightened isn't too bad. Fading is kind of a problem, and scattering is kind of a problem. But you got better accuracy with natural swing, and you get healed faster. So that's cool. You can go with Gunblade Knight now. I have, you know, multiple level 3 highwaymen. But that's just the hand I'm being dealt right now. Oh, not happy about that. So I wanted to look. Magnus Andrus was asking me about this, of what weeks people died. For the full review here, we have Eliza Ludus dying week 5, Ray week 7, Prankstered week 9, Cartoon Critic week 12, Viscount Neuro week 15. That's really hard to move this cursor, actually. Both Bullheart and Endless Nyx, week 16. Ricardo Amaral, week 29. Pyrocumulus, week 36. Also Seraph, week 36. Shadowblade, Ginger Kays, and Demon Radicate, all week 43. Darius, week 61. Dr. Queen, week 66. Tactic, week 72. Lady Robin, week 76. Also Brendan Reed, and Motor Mouse, and Magus Andrus, all week 76. Zumber, week 82. Jalari, Glowstick, and Shadow Dancer, all week 92. Phoenix Furno and Zane both week 93. Victor and Ryu week 96. Rogue Shark week 104. Real Mid Boss week 105. Hilversum week 113. I don't know exactly what episode all of those translate to, but right there that is. Alright, well, I guess that's enough doom and gloom for the day. I have 200 crests now, which means I can get the Puppet Theater, which might not be a bad investment, but I think... I don't know, I might rather save up for the Outsiders Bonfire. No, I like the idea of... Yeah, because since I'm, like, reusing some of the same characters over and over again lately, I think the Puppet Theater would be good, so I don't have to, like, so I can leave some characters out of stress relief if they only have some, like these characters here. So yeah, I'll get the Puppet Theater. Oh, how cute. And I want to look in the Abbey real quick. I would need a little bit more. I would need a few more busts to be able to buy the last upgrade in the Abbey. But okay, alright. It's fine. Another boss has already shown up in the Weld Den. This is the Brigand 16-pounder. Which reminds me, I should have gotten, some new items, a new trophy. Which one belonged to the Hag? Not the Viscount Spices. No, it's the Ladle. It's the Hag's Ladle. Yeah, this is really nice. Extra Blight skill chance, extra Blight resist, extra disease resist. Okay, don't know what I'm going to do next week yet, but for now I'm just going to figure out what to do with these people that I've busted up here. Cthulhu-chan can go to the bar. Ranakai Rule can do some gambling. And Dragoon, you can go to the bar. You two can have a Hellion party. And that should be just enough there. Titan. One more thing I want to do with you is I want to treat calm. I want to treat calmness. Blom Lucas, you just got a lot more important because I lost Hilversum. Hilversum has gone the way of Ryu and Demon Eradicate and so many others. Well, until next time, I'm the Comic Foil. I am definitely not going to fight the Brigand 16-pounder yet, even though this is a great item right here, the Fuseman's Matchstick, which I would like, but I'm not going to do that while the Thing from the Stars is there. I can't even blame the Collector. The Collector showed up to destroy my run, but that's not why I died. I just got hit a bunch by some normal freaking enemies. So, yeah, who knows what the future holds. I sure as heck don't. See you next time, guys.